What if you can? That's not a slogan, it's not a catchphrase, it's the question that changes everything. You've been living like you can't, like you don't matter, waking up as if the day owns you, walking like a background character in your own story. But what if you flip that? What if you can become more than your mistakes, more than the version of you that you're tired of being? What if you're not finished, not even close? Most people have already folded. They've accepted a smaller life, and they say things like, "It's too late," or "I'm not made for this." But you're still asking the question. That's where the shift begins. Belief isn't magic, it's momentum. When you tell yourself, "I can," even when everything says you can't, you move different. You wake something up. The fighter, the builder, the one who doesn't just survive pain but uses it. Let's be honest, life isn't fair. Some of you were born into chaos. Some of you never had help. Some of you had to raise yourselves before you even knew what that meant. But maybe those weren't curses. Maybe they were calluses. Maybe they didn't break you. Maybe they built you. Fear isn't some great mystery. It's just a story. One you tell yourself that ends in failure. But what if you told a new one? One where you fall and rise. One where you keep getting back up. What if you stopped letting fear hold the mic and took it back? You know what kills more dreams than failure? Waiting. Waiting for the right time, the perfect plan, the green light. But there is no perfect time. There's now or never. Most people live in someday, but someday's just code for never. If you're serious, you move. Even if it's messy, especially if it's messy. And yes, you'll fail. That's not a warning, it's a guarantee. You'll stumble, you'll feel stupid, you'll question everything. But those are the dues you pay to become who you're meant to be. Those are receipts earned from the process. Nobody great got there without breaking down a few times. They just didn't stay down. Let's talk about that voice in your head. The one whispering, "You're not enough." That voice isn't you. That's a recording. Programming from people who quit on themselves. You inherited their fear, their limits, but you don't have to keep playing that tape. Rip it out. Burn it. Replace it with something better. Truth, action, a new belief. I may not be there yet, but I'm moving. I don't have all the answers, but I've got the guts to keep going. Say that, live that, watch what happens. You know what's stronger than talent? Relentlessness. Talent fades, hype fades, but grit stays. It's showing up sore, broke and heartbroken, and still delivering. That's how you earn your future. Not by being cute, by being committed. Some of you are waiting for someone to come save you. Let me be real, they're not coming. No one is going to believe in you more than you believe in yourself. Change doesn't start with a dream, it starts with a decision. What if you stopped waiting to feel ready? What if you just moved? You'd be shocked what action does to fear. Shocked what happens when you act first and figure it out later. Winners aren't the smartest. They're the ones who start, who run into the fog, holding nothing but a match and a mission. I'm talking to you, not the version of you that plays small. I'm talking to the real one, the one behind the anxiety, behind the doubt, behind the pain. The one who wakes up at 2 a.m. knowing they're not living up to their potential. That's the you that matters. You've been lied to, told that success is for the chosen. It's not. It's for the obsessed, for the ones who show up when no one's watching, for the ones who chase excellence with no applause. That can be you, if you choose it. Don't get it twisted. This isn't about hype, it's about identity. Who are you when everything breaks? When the plan falls apart? That's when the real version shows up. That's where character is built. Not in comfort, in chaos. Every setback is a setup. Every failure is fertilizer. Everything they said would break you was actually building you. That pain you're carrying, that's proof you're still in the game. Use it, don't numb it, let it sharpen you. So let me ask again, what if you can? What if your entire past was just training for the next level? What if every breakdown was a breakthrough in disguise? What if all you had to do was decide? You don't need a new year, you don't need a new sign, you need a moment. And this can be it, this breath, this decision. What if this was the moment you stopped living like a question mark and started moving like an answer? You keep looking for permission, for someone to say, "You're good enough, you're ready." But the truth is, no one's gonna say it, not the way you need. You have to give that to yourself. You have to stamp your own pass and say, let's go. Because if you don't, life will keep moving and you'll stay standing still. Life doesn't wait, not for your healing, not for your doubt, not for your excuses. The clock doesn't care about your past. It doesn't care how unfair things were. You've got two options. Stay a prisoner to what happened or become the architect of what's next. What if I told you rock bottom is raw material, that the pain, the failure, the loneliness, all of it is fuel? Don't hide it, use it. Let it prove you can walk through fire and still come out whole. Let it shape your story. Let it make you unbreakable. People act like success is a secret formula. It's not. It's brutal. It's boring. It's lonely. It's sacrifice. It's showing up when no one's watching and still delivering. It's not the highlight reel. It's the behind-the-scenes grind. You've got fire in you, but you keep dimming it to fit into a world that's already half asleep. Why? Why are you shrinking? Why are you making yourself small to make others comfortable? Let them be uncomfortable. Let your ambition burn. Maybe it'll wake them up too. The world doesn't need more average. It doesn't need more silent potential. It needs the real you. Loud, honest, awake. The version of you that's been dying to breathe without apologizing for it. What if you finally let that version take the lead? You want change? Then stop playing small. Stop talking big and living soft. Get uncomfortable. Get obsessed. This isn't about balance. It's about breakthrough. And breakthroughs don't happen on couches. They happen in chaos, in silence, in sacrifice. There's a voice inside you, one that knows what you're capable of, but you've been drowning it out with distractions, scrolling, and people who gave up on themselves. Cut the noise. Kill the lies. Turn up the truth. Here's the truth. You're capable of more. That's not motivation. It's fact. You've got more discipline, more vision, more power than you're using, but potential without action rots. It rusts. It dies. And you're left carrying the weight of what could have been. You know what scares people more than failure? Accountability. Because once you accept it's on you, there's no one left to blame. That's a heavy crown, but it turns you into a king or queen in your own life. Take it. Own it. Stop outsourcing your future. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your systems. What do you do daily? What do you feed your mind? What do you tolerate? That's who you really are. Not your vision board. Your disciplines. If your habits are weak, your future will be too. You will want to quit. You will crave comfort. But comfort is a coffin. It looks soft. It feels safe. But it buries your greatness. You've got to crawl out of that grave. Scare yourself with goals so big they make people laugh. And when they laugh, let them. Let them doubt. Let them talk. While they're watching, you'll be working. Let your silence drown their noise. Let your execution shatter their expectations. Let your life scream what your mouth never had to. You weren't made to blend in. You weren't made to follow scripts. You're here to write new ones, to go where others were too afraid to go. You weren't born to repeat. You were born to rewrite. What if you stopped overthinking and just moved? What if fear wasn't a red light, but a green one? What if leaning in was the key to breaking through? Growth doesn't live in comfort. It lives on the edge of everything that scares you. Most people are awake on the outside and asleep on the inside. Their purpose is off. Their soul is numb. Don't be one of them. Wake up. Move with fire. Speak with truth. Work like your life depends on it, because it does. What if you're the one who breaks the cycle? The one who sets a new standard, the one who turns pain into power and gives others permission to do the same. What if your fight becomes someone else's faith? Let me ask you something. How many more days will you waste? How many mornings will you snooze your potential? How many times will you say, tomorrow, when today is the only guarantee you've got? What if time runs out and all you're left with is regret? No more maybe. No more waiting for signs. This is it. This is the moment you grab life by the throat and say, we're doing this. No more fear. No more shrinking. No more excuses. You've got one shot and you're not wasting it. You ever look in the mirror and not recognize yourself? Not because your face changed, but because your fire went quiet. That's what happens when you ignore the thing inside you for too long. You start to forget who you are. You become a watered-down version of someone who once had dreams. But that version, the real you, is still there, still breathing, still waiting. You didn't lose them. You buried them under doubt, shame, and years of, "I'll do it later." Now it's time to dig, to get your hands dirty, to pull yourself out. You're still in there, still ready, still capable. What if the pain you're running from is exactly what will make you stronger? What if it's not punishment, it's preparation? What if the hard times weren't meant to break you, but to build the version of you strong enough to carry the future you're asking for? You want success? Then stop playing small. Stop tiptoeing around your purpose. It's not fragile, it's fire. It's yours. Own it. Walk like it. Speak like it. Work like it. The world doesn't need more whispers. It needs war cries. You keep saying, "I'm not ready." That's the problem. You think readiness shows up on its own. It doesn't. You earn it. You get in the ring, take the hits, swing back, and that's when readiness shows up. Everybody wants a breakthrough, but nobody wants to break. Truth is, you have to bleed for it. You have to lose before you win. That's not failure. That's foundation. Every scar is a brick in the empire you're building. Most of your limits, not even real. They were passed down, inherited fears, second-hand doubt. But you don't have to wear them. You can burn them. You can say, "That may have been their truth, but it's not going to be mine." What if the only thing standing between you and your dream is the decision to get serious? Not next week, not tomorrow, today. What if you stopped negotiating with your potential and said, "No shortcuts, no distractions. This is the mission, and nothing gets in the way." You ever hear the phrase, "die empty"? It means give life everything. Leave no potential unused, no words unsaid, no love unspoken, no goals unchased. When your time comes, don't go full of regret. Go empty. That's how you know you lived. The truth? Your excuses are loud because your purpose has been quiet, but it's still there, still whispering, still calling you. So turn down the noise, sit in the silence, face the parts of yourself you've been avoiding. That's where the real work begins. Want to become unbreakable? Then stop avoiding the things that break you. Run at them, head first. Show life that nothing it throws at you will make you fold. You don't retreat, you rise, you burn, you become. Here's what no one tells you: the best version of you is built in fire, in pain, in setbacks, in moments where quitting makes sense. You don't skip the hard stuff to get to greatness. You crawl through it, you bleed through it, you breathe through it, and you continue. Success doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care if you're tired or if nobody claps. Success is earned in the trenches, in the silence, in the discipline. That's where legacies are built. Quiet, dirty, relentless. Why don't most people make it? It's not talent, it's the lack of grit, the lack of follow-through. They want the glory, not the grind, but life respects the consistent, the worker, the one who shows up again and again. So, what if you can? What if all your setbacks were setups? What if the rejections were redirections? What if you've been one step away this whole time, but kept turning back at mile 99? What if it just takes one more try? You're tired? Of course you are. You've been battling in your mind, your heart, and your life. But tired doesn't mean done. Tired means you're in the right arena. You don't stop when it hurts. You stop when it's done. Stop running from your calling. Yes, it's heavy. Yes, it's hard. But that weight, that's not a burden. It's responsibility. That's your potential knocking, saying, "Let me in." The question is, will you answer? Stop measuring your future with a broken ruler. Just because you failed before doesn't make you a failure. Your past is a lesson, not a sentence. Pick up the pen, rewrite the story. You're not late, you're not behind, you're right on time. If you move now, destiny doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It waits for decisions. And this is yours, right here, right now. No more what ifs, no more maybes. What if obstacles weren't walls, but doors, not locked, just heavy? Heavy enough to test you, heavy enough to make sure you're serious. These doors separate average from exceptional. Push even if your legs shake. Push even if your past screams, you can't. Push anyway. You know what's wild? You've survived 100% of your worst days. Every heartbreak, every failure, you're still here. That's not weakness, that's proof. Proof that you're tougher than anything that tried to break you. Some people get stuck because the mountain looks too big. But here's the truth. Mountains don't move. You do. And every step, every stumble, every crawl, it's all progress. Slow doesn't mean stuck. Forward is forward. Let me give it to you straight. Confidence doesn't come from compliments. It comes from doing hard things, from keeping promises to yourself, from showing up when no one's watching. Every time you push through when quitting would be easier, you build a version of you that's undeniable. Still waiting on motivation? Stop. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the engine. If you only move when you're hyped, you'll never finish. But if you train discipline, you'll move mountains while others sleep. You've been comparing your chapter 3 to someone else's chapter 20. Stop. That's poison. Stay in your lane, your page, your grind, because no one else can write your story, and jealousy will rewrite your ending if you let it. What if your pain isn't punishment? It's your platform. What if the thing you thought disqualified you is exactly what makes you valuable? Someone out there needs your scars, your story, your comeback. Don't hide it. Use it. You think you're alone? You're not. There's a whole army of people fighting silent battles. And when you rise, when you stand, they'll notice. They'll say, if they can, maybe I can too. That's how movements start. That's how change spreads. You don't have to be the smartest, the fastest, or the strongest. You just have to be willing to get back up, willing to learn, willing to believe when nobody else does. That's enough. That's everything. Waiting for fear to disappear. It won't, but fear isn't your enemy. Inaction is. Let fear ride in the passenger seat if it has to, but never let it take the wheel. You drive, you decide. You know what's worse than failure? Regret, because failure passes, regret lingers. It whispers years later, what if you'd tried? Don't let that be your story. Not this time. You don't need more motivation. You need a decision. A real non-negotiable, burn the bridges kind of decision, because when you truly decide, you become dangerous, unstoppable, fully you. You keep saying someday, but someday is where dreams go to die. Want to change your life? Pick a day, mark it, circle it, write it in blood if you have to. Until it's real, it's just a wish. Everyone wants the finish line, few want the first step. Be the one who takes it, be the one who looks fear in the eye and moves anyway. You don't need the whole path. Just the next step, with everything you've got. What if your entire life could shift from one bold move, one conversation, one risk, one leap of faith? You don't need to be fearless, you just need to go. Even while scared, still waiting to feel ready. Life doesn't wait, time doesn't wait, opportunities don't wait. The clock is ticking, and that's a gift, because it means your moment is now. You think life owes you something? It doesn't. But it will reward your effort, your sweat, your tears, your sacrifice. Life pays in full, just not up front. So keep going. Your payoff is coming. You won't always feel like it. That's not how growth works. Sometimes you have to move with fear in your throat and weakness in your knees. That's what makes it real. That's what makes it earned. There's a beast inside you, and you've been trying to tame it. But it's not meant to be tamed. It's meant to be trained, sharpened, directed. Let it loose, let it drive you, let it take you somewhere that finally feels like home.